Hi, welcome to A Foreigner in the Philippines. Well, another subject that just simply won't lie down, and that is the whole issue and the problem, the challenge of finding your forever, which is the way that everybody has started to think of finding a partner, is that it's going to be forever, and we would all hope that that's the situation. So, how do you find your forever? How do you separate the scammers from the real? Now, everybody that has expressed an interest in our friend Rob, and I was just looking then at one of the comments that was about Rob, and then it's followed by, I think at the moment, 45 comments, which I haven't read through. All of them are, can you put me in touch with him? Well, he has posted a comment that shows his Facebook page, and he says that he won't be back until, I think it was the 10th or the 15th, something like that, so he won't be able to answer comments anyway, but that he does fully intend to, even if it's a very polite no, I'm not interested, he does intend to answer every comment that comes through on his Facebook page. So, but how can you tell someone who is going to scam you? Remember the lady that came to us and said that she was very lonely, and she was the one that had trusted a much younger man than her. He was 35 and I think that she was in her 50s, and he'd ripped her off. It's just it's a risk that we all take. Another subscriber said that someone that he knew had arrived with I believe it was $300,000. Now that's in Filipino money. That's some serious money. He had arrived to be in partnership with a lovely lady, and in no time at all, it seemed, he had lost everything. So there's all kinds of things that this sort of video, Finding Your Forever, is going to include. It's going to include, how do you balance your yes and no with the amount of help that you give? The common one is that when you marry a Filipino, you're marrying the entire family. So if you're going to be extremely practical, it would be wise, if you could, to marry into a small family where it was just 2 or 3 children. Okay, so you'd be having one, and then there might be 2 others that you are expected perhaps to help. Whether you help people or not is really down to your personal preference, and personally how you want to be perceived by your, well, A, by your spouse, and B, by the family. And lots of foreigners come over and they are quite separate to the family. So finding your forever is really not easy. But the truth is that, as another subscriber has pointed out, the truth is that if you stop stressing about finding them, whoever, him or her, and you focus on just having a good life. Now, when I say a good life, I'm talking about having a situation where you feel fulfilled, and you've done something in order to feel fulfilled. And it is a hard fact, it's a bitter pill, if you wish. It's a bitter pill to swallow, that sometimes what happens to us, in fact, I'm trying to dress it down, but we create our own reality. We really do. And the way that you approach your life, the way that you carry it on your shoulders as you go through your day, very much influences the way that your life is going to go. If you are a party goer, male or female, then you're going to meet, guess what? You're going to meet party goers. You're going to meet people who enjoy that kind of lifestyle. And if you apparently like that lifestyle, why would you be surprised? And if you can both enjoy that, then, well, good for you. I can't see for myself, and this is purely my opinion, which I don't state as fact. I state it with a strong, firm belief in what I believe, but I don't state it as fact because it's not a case of one size fits everybody. I have a friend who likes to have a drink. And it's a big part of his life. He entertains. He's a party goer. He and his wife, they have a good life. They're good people, but they like to party. And when I would go around there, and I'm not really interested in I'll have a beer to be sociable, and I might even be able to finish it, but really not that interested. He would actually say, you're not in the A team, Terence. You're not in the A team. You don't know how to have a good time. I think I'm having a good time. Isn't that another proof of the fact that not one size fits all? I think that my life is great. If I won $1 million tomorrow, I would not suddenly rush out and buy all kinds of stuff, bracelets and rings and watches and a concrete house, as they might call it here. I'm living where I want to. So that's really the kind of person that you want to get, is the one that is living the kind of life that they enjoy. And this may involve you being very fussy at the beginning. Like you cannot just take the first person that comes, because if you're someone that's looking for a foreigner, well, he's a foreigner. That's good enough. Here we go. That's not going to work either, because if the kind of life that the foreigner that you meet is not one which you want to live, how long can it last? It cannot last. So you really need to find someone who echoes the kind of qualities that you would admire in a person. And the same thing goes for a man. Now, if you come over, someone who is obviously a city girl said, she read out and she said, city girls are straight. Can I find that? I wonder. She said, city girls are straight. We're just saying it the way that it is. The facts, that's what we're looking at. And we're just telling you the way that it is. Now, the way that she sees it is absolute fact. Another person who said, where? Oh no, these are all, sorry, these are all on Rob, the 45. No, I'm never going to find it. But people are going to be happiest in the situation where they're living with the person that they would probably most like to be. You know, the idea that one of the ultimate compliments has always been, whenever a writer wants to make his point in a movie, and he has one character paying tribute to the person that he or she is married to, who maybe has lost, that he is paying a tribute to at the funeral. It usually is, you make me want to be a better person. Now, that's the kind of person that hopefully you would be looking for. Someone who actually makes you want to be better than you are right now. And that should be reciprocated. That's what the other person should feel. For me, I know that I have a wife who is a simple, that's not simple up here, okay, but a simple living woman who is an island girl. I looked at her one day when we were out somewhere and she was standing cashing up something, and I looked down and she's got odd colour slippers on. She's an island girl, and that doesn't mean that she is not simple-minded, because actually she has a master's degree in business administration, and she's a real buzz at marketing, and she is responsible in equal parts to the success of our channel, because she just has a feel for it, and I don't second guess her, and she doesn't second guess me. Well, not all the time. Okay? So you're looking, in trying to find your forever, you're looking at someone that actually makes sense when you think of them being your forever. If you're hoping to have, if you're a Filipina and you're hoping to have a child or 2 or 3, if you're a Filipina, then you want someone who is actually fond of children. You want someone who actually likes children, who likes being with children, who likes, and that you can see this in him before you ever have children, that he's good with children. Do children like him? So these are things that you need to look at before you get involved, and up front, early on, is when it's best and when it's easiest to speak your mind, and it's easiest to walk out the door. Now, in America, I often refer to this as the 10-minute dating, and what some very clever Californian probably, they started what was called 10-minute dates, and they just got a load of people, sold tickets, got a load of people in the same room, full of single tables and 2 chairs, and then everybody just got 10 minutes with everybody else at the table, okay? And you would be able to ask all of the most important questions, and you would have rehearsed them in your mind, and as you went from one person to another person to another person, you would try to find those people with the character traits which you really enjoyed. And of course, if you really wanted to, you could stay longer than 10 minutes, but the idea was that you could interview people as if you were interviewing for a job. And let's face it, the job that you are interviewing people for is your forever. So you really need to have your questions sorted out as to what will reveal in that person who is sitting opposite you the kind of person that you want. So good luck on finding. I just had a terrific success story. One man who wrote in, he said, I had a great experience, a life-changing experience. He said, I signed up for a Christian dating service, a Christian dating site. He said, and while I was there on that, I met a wonderful, this is more than one way to look at this as a success story, because it's encouraging for those ladies who are writing to Beth and I and saying, I'm 45, 50, what chance is there for me? And this man is also in his 50s, 60s, and he met, as he said, a wonderful lady, beautiful to his eyes, wonderful lady. He said, for weeks and weeks they not Kindle, they actually did the video chats every day, sometimes for several hours, and in a good way, they couldn't get enough of each other. And now he's on his way out to meet her, and whether he's actually met her before, and I'm not quite sure, but they are totally convinced that this is going to be their mutual forever. And he's coming out and he's going to get married in April, and is ecstatically happy, and is making all of his arrangements to be here and to do everything right and to get everything done and to make this lady his wife. And I congratulate them. It's wonderful to hear these kind of stories, but there was a lady who may have given up, like our lonely lady who's been away from home for 20 years and is lonely and unappreciated and alone. And maybe this lady was also feeling that way too, but then she met this man who wanted someone her age, the way that she looked, the way she was. And now they're going to be united. It's a wonderful story. So thanks for looking in. Good luck on finding your forever, your happy ever after. I wish you well. It's possible.